Have you ever wondered why some moments in life feel delayed? Why some doors won't open? Why some prayers take time to be answered? This is the story of a young boy who questioned everything until life revealed a truth far deeper than he imagined. That sometimes God's plan is slower, but always greater. In a quiet village, wrapped in tall green trees and soft morning air, lived a boy named Samir. He was kind, bright, and filled with dreams larger than the sky. He wanted to grow fast, learn fast, achieve fast. To him, waiting felt like losing. But God had written something different for him. One cool morning, when dew covered the grass and birds danced between branches, Samir went to a nearby forest to collect firewood for his grandmother. The forest was calm, the kind of calm that makes your heart feel heard. Thin rays of sunlight cut through the branches like golden threads. Leaves shimmered with the night's leftover rain. As he walked deeper inside, he heard a faint, trembling sound. A small cry, like a tiny creature calling for help. He followed the sound until he found a little brown bird lying under a bush. Its wing was bent, its feathers were dusty, and its eyes were full of fear. Samir's heart softened. "Don't worry, I'm here," he whispered gently. He lifted the bird carefully. It felt lighter than a leaf and carried it home. His grandmother, a wise, calm woman, smiled softly. "Sometimes," she said, "God brings someone into your hands because you are part of their healing." They placed the bird inside a small woven basket lined with cotton. Samir named it Naritha, one who carries light. Every morning, he checked the bird's wing, fed it breadcrumbs, and kept it close to sunlight. But after a few days, the old weakness inside Samir returned. Impatience. "Why aren't you flying yet? Why is this taking so long? What if you never get better?" His grandmother heard him. She touched his shoulder gently. "Samir, healing is not a race, and God never rushes anything that needs time." Samir didn't reply. He just frowned. To him, waiting felt like nothing was happening. That night, under a quiet moonlit sky, he sat beside Nuri's basket. The bird opened its tiny eyes, weak but trusting. Samir whispered, "Maybe you just need a push." But deep in his heart, he knew he was rushing something fragile. The next morning, when the sky glowed gold and pink, he carried Nuri into the forest. He placed the bird gently on a low branch. "Come on, Nuri, you can do it." His voice was soft but eager. Nuri shook its head anxiously. Samir didn't understand. He thought he was helping, so he lifted the bird slightly and pushed. For a moment, time stopped. Then Nuri flapped its small wings helplessly and fell. Not far, but hard enough to hurt. Samir froze. His heart cracked. He ran, picked up the tiny bird, and whispered through trembling breath, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Tears warmed his cheeks. That night, his room was silent. He didn't play. He didn't smile. He sat beside Nuri, regret sitting heavy on his chest. His grandmother sat next to him. "Samir," she whispered, "some things go wrong not because God punished you, but because you tried to write the story before its time." He looked up slowly. She continued, "God knows when a heart is ready. God knows when a wing is strong. God knows the right moment far better than we do." Samir felt her words settle inside him, like warm light filling a cold room. He realized that both he and the bird needed time and trust. From that day onward, Samir changed. He fed Nuri gently. He warmed its basket every morning. He let it rest. He stopped rushing its wings. He whispered encouragement instead of complaints. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, Nuri's wing lifted higher. Its eyes became bright. Its feathers shone again. One beautiful morning, sunlight flowed through the window like golden water. Samir opened the basket and gasped. Nuri stood tall, full of life. It hopped to the edge, opened its wings, not shaken this time, but steady. Confident, Samir carried it outside. This time, he didn't push. He simply opened his hands, and Nuri flew. A smooth, graceful, wide flight across the sky. Samir's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of gratitude. He understood. What didn't happen earlier wasn't a failure. It was protection. It was preparation. It was God's timing. Sometimes the delay is the blessing. Sometimes the slow path is the safer one. Sometimes God holds you back because He's preparing something better than what you asked for. So if you're waiting, breathe, be patient, trust the process, trust the timing, and trust that God has a greater plan for you than the one you're rushing toward. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. And don't forget to subscribe to Life Lesson Chapters for more peaceful, inspiring, life-changing stories.
Remember that true strength lies not in the staff you hold, but in the heart that beats within you. Trust your path.